Hey, what's up? 12 people. Okay, let it be 15, then I'm going to start. 14. Okay. Yeah, welcome. This is just a Q and A about whatever topic you want to talk about. You see, the key to life is giving as much value as you can, and all the good things are going to come back to you for sure. Okay, not necessarily from the person that you gave that value to, but you're dealing with the universe. You're not dealing with people, anyways. All right. Um, all right. So 13 people. Like I said, I'm going to start lecturing on. I mean, once we get 15 people, and you can post your questions whenever you want. Okay. So if you have any questions about, or just want to hear my opinion on something, you know, um, just post. All right. What's this? Ready for that knowledge? Yeah, I'm going to do my best. Hi, Frank. All is well. What's up, Connor? How's it going? Hope all is well. Wish you blessings this new year. Appreciate it. Same back to you. The Wild Orchid just came just came to say hi, Frank. How's it going? Dragon subs. Good evening, sub Simon. Boot camp was so great. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Had a great time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the boot camp was a life-changing experience for everything. For everybody who was on there. But mind you, the best is yet to come. Now, of course, what I delivered in those on those 2 weekends was amazing. But you're still going to get all those other benefits. The pact, the spell casted by me, the past life regressions, and much more. So that's some amazing stuff, really. Frank, I'm getting the money subliminal on Wednesday. That's a good decision. It's gonna, if you listen to it, if you apply it, it's gonna change your life in that area for sure. Okay, I got so many testimonials from people. I posted them, for the most part on Instagram and my Facebook group, Trail of the Serpent in a Circle. Hi, Frank. Weekend was great. Thank you. Do I need tools and ingredients for my spells, or can I just use my intentions and a meditative state? Yeah. Good question. Do you need tools and ingredients for your spells? No, you don't. You really don't, because when we look at how magic works, you're really dealing with a thought form that you bring into existence, and you're just giving that thought form energy. So you can do all of that without any tools. Really, what you need is concentration and putting a lot of energy into it. I bought the powerful magician subliminal, thought provoking. Okay. Well, keep listening to it. It's gonna provoke a transformation within you. Right. Okay, 18. Really, I want you to understand, guys, that this what I'm providing is not just for thoughts. It's supposed to be useful. It's supposed to transform your practice or your life in some way or another. While you're manifesting and changing your subconscious, it's best to ignore your current reality so you don't get discouraged. Yes, of course. Look, salutations. What's up, Farlar? Here's what it's like. Okay, your current life, all the circumstances in your life are the result of the emotions that you held in the past. Okay, let me explain. We communicate with the universe through feeling. Does that make sense? Through emotions. Now, our energy body is electrical energy. When you look at, I don't know what you know about physics, but when you look at electrical energy, there's automatically magnetism that is a byproduct of that. Okay, that's why it's called electromagnetism. I'm sure you heard that before. Okay, so any energetic current, any electrical current, which is what you are, Okay, your emotions, your energy body is an electrical current. Any electrical current has a magnetic quality. Okay, and this is how the law of attraction works. For instance, the frequency that you resonate at will attract circumstances in the outside world that match that. How do you determine what frequency you're on? The thoughts, and more than that, the emotions that you hold determine what you attract in the physical world. Okay. Now, one thing that you have to understand is that your current situation is the result of of the emotions that you held in the past. What were you resonating with? The thoughts that you were holding in the past, you see? So the physical manifestations that occur with a time lag. Okay, just because you feel a certain way right now doesn't mean that things appear out of like poof out of nowhere. You will have to feed something for a certain amount of time until it can become a physical condition around you. You see, and in the same way, if you when you're changing your circumstances, it's kind of like a plant. Okay, a plant that where you see the top. Let's say you don't like the plant, you don't like the fruit or whatever. Your emotions were the roots that were feeding that plant, you see? So now you stop feeding that negative plant, it will still be there for a while. Okay, it will die off, of course. It will just leave your life. The negative circumstances are going to move away. They're going to be replaced by positive circumstances. When you keep feeding the positive positive circumstances energy. So eventually that negative plant is going to be replaced by a new one which reflects your new emotions, but that doesn't happen instantaneously. So what you're asking is it best to ignore your current reality so you don't get discouraged? Yes, exactly. That's how you do it. You got to keep feeding the reality that you want. You got to keep feeding the reality that you want. You reaffirm that every single day. Every single day you got to do that, you see? And the problem is that most people don't have the discipline to do it. You see, most people have heard of the law of attraction. Most people have heard a concept that thoughts and emotions are what this universe responds to. So you will attract what you feel. But few people have the discipline to keep doing that, you see. So few people actually control the manifestations in their life, but it's necessary. You need to learn the discipline to control your emotions and your thoughts. How do you control your thoughts? Well, just control your self-talk. How about that? Just control your self-talk. And that's very easy. Just repeat a statement, an affirmation in your mind over and over and over and over and over and over again. The majority of the emotions that you feel throughout the day should be the result of what you created. You create your mind, you create your experience, you see. Now, look, let's define emotions a little bit, okay? By the way, guys, if you want to understand something, first define the word. Okay, too many people try to discuss things or talk about things and they don't even really know what they mean. You will not be able to deal with a subject if you haven't clearly defined what you're actually dealing with. All right, please, please, please. I'm telling you, please take that advice. It's going to change your life for sure. Okay, so let's talk about emotion. What is emotion? Well, emotion is energy in motion. More than that, or not more than that, but another aspect is that it comes from, once again, that's etymology. X motion. Okay, emotion stands for X motion. X means out of, from, and motion is movement, right? So emotion is the result of the movement of something, right? It is energy in motion, right? Now, for you to be able to create and to feel positive emotions, which is what you want, right? And also to get things done, by the way. Okay, so in order to be able to get things done, in order to be able to create things, in order to be able to feel positive emotions, you need to be moving. You need to move. All right. Have you ever look? Somebody who's in a bad emotional state, who's depressed, you will also see that their body language reflects that. They get very slow. Their movements are really like restricted. What if they're in a positive or in a better emotional state, vibrating higher? They're faster. They're faster in their speech. They have faster movements, and they can create more. They have a higher energy level. So movement and where you are on an emotional scale are very much connected. Okay, so when you don't feel like feeling positive emotions, when you don't feel like focusing on the positive, beautiful creations that you're going to bring into this world, get your ass moving. Okay, move your ass around a little bit, walking, run up some stairs. Run up some stairs. For those of you guys who don't exercise, you need to start exercising. Magic is not just about thinking or talking. It's about fucking energy, you see? So move your ass, please. Move your asses a little bit. Whenever you feel bad, just get moving. Okay? And you're going to feel higher level emotions, and you're going to be able to create more. The frequency of your thoughts is going to change, and the frequency of your emotions, which is interconnected, right? You see? So just apply that. Okay. Hold on, what's this? I have dark, malicious energies around me, and I've cleansed and meditated to get on the right state. Positive attracts positive in doing this. Do you have a suggestion? Follow the same principle. See, if you have negative thoughts that you can't get rid of, get yourself to move. Look, energy, thoughts, emotions, those are all different sides of the same thing. You see what I mean? So in order to change the frequency of your thoughts, let's say you have negative thoughts, negative emotions, change your energy. How do you change your energy? Use the suggestion that I gave you. I promise you, I promise. If you feel bad and you exercise, you're going to feel better after the exercise, 100%. It's almost impossible, unless you're like very, very sick or something like that, to feel worse after working out than before. You're going to feel better. Why? Because the energy is moving. Very simple. All right, what's this? Peace, Frank. Do you have any suggestions for helping people transition into the afterlife? Yeah, but I would prefer not to talk about that on this live stream. It's not the right framework, I believe. It's just, I don't feel comfortable talking about that here. Okay, Wild Orchid says one. True. I'm air. They are fire. I try to bind and burn myself. What's this telling me? Okay. Hybrid Soldier says, hey, Frank, what is force and technique and magic ritual? It's interesting. I always wonder how people come up with their names. Hybrid Soldier. It's so interesting what goes through people's minds when they do that. I'm not saying this in any judgmental way. It's just, to me, it's so interesting how people think and what the different, what the different associations are that people have, It's so interesting. Let's do this experiment here. When I say the word real estate, what are your associations with it? And association means, please tell me the first word. Please type in the first word that comes to mind when I say real estate. Real estate, boom. Real estate, boom. What's the next word that comes to your mind? When you say real estate, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Please type it in here. Let's do a little experiment. House, okay? Money, okay. Income, estate, location, okay. Real estate is what else? House, okay. Agents, money, land, dreamed, my occult name, properties, house, land, stability, home warming, truce. Truce? Wow, okay. That's interesting. Truce. House, land, sales. Okay. That's interesting, man. Okay. Hmm. It'll be interesting to hear what comes to people's minds when we talk about the topics of politics, sex, and religion, right? The stuff that you're not supposed to talk about ever, right? The one thing the one or the three topics that you skip if you don't want to get into trouble, it's loves. No, it's sex, politics, and religion, right? Sounds like polarizing topics. Yep. All right, definitely. Okay, so other questions here. Hey Frank, what is force and technique in magic ritual? Force and technique, it's concentration, your ability to still your mind and to focus. And when I say still your mind, it just means that your entire concentration is focused on one thought. Listen. All right, Christy Ann Darvison. Good to know. I need to start jogging again. Yeah, all of you need to exercise. If, to the extent that you can, you should exercise on a daily basis. Absolutely. Does it have to be ass? You're referring to moving, move your ass, move your ass. Up to you. Does it have to be ass? What are you going to do? Are you going to exercise on your couch, lifting bags of chips? Are you going to start losing weight or exercise, break a sweat, wiping your ass? Wow, if that's exercise to you, you have some other problems. So, yeah, usually I'm assuming that you can still move your ass. You're not that big. And by the way, I'm not even joking. God damn it. Once in a while, I had a phase. I wanted to motivate myself to, because I was eating more than usual, and I was starting to develop a belly, right, a gut, right, which is, I mean, I'm 36 years old, okay, so I guess it's normal. It's very easy to get fat in your 30s. So you got to watch what you eat way more than earlier. But the point is, um, I started watching documentaries about super overweight people. God, that was brutal. I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of weight on flesh a human body can accumulate. It's just incredible. It's like wasn't even funny. It's like a whale. And I don't assume that you're in that position. I don't assume that you weigh 500 pounds or 600 pounds. There are people that are even heavier than that, but they're bedridden. I don't assume that you're one of those. So you should be able to move your ass. Shovel, move, move. Hey, shoveling is a great exercise. Can you tell us about some great book to start witchcraft, and what do you think about Carl Jung? Some good book to start witchcraft. Look, I just finished teaching a boot camp, and on day 3, we extensively went into the nature of knowledge and how to know truth from lies? How do you know what is actually truth? Okay. I did an extensive lecture on that, more than 2 hours. I was lecturing about knowledge, how to know things. Okay. What is not, what is truth? How can you actually tell that you know something? You know, and much, much more. And I don't know, to some people that might sound as if it's like, what is this guy talking about? I know that I'm breathing, I know that I'm alive, blah, blah, blah. No, we're talking about more abstract stuff. And, you know, as coincidence wants it, by the way, coincidence does not exist in this world, right? But look what I have lying here. The exact fucking drawing that I used to explain that topic. So I'm going to explain that to you now too. All right. So your question was, can you tell us about some great book to start witchcraft? And what do you think about Carl Jung? I'll tell you what. The question that you should always ask yourself is, how do I permeate a subject? How do I deal with a certain subject? That's the first question that you should have in your mind. Okay. The ancient Egyptians were fans of the pyramid, right? Of a pyramid. But not because it was a tomb or a grave. It was because a pyramid is actually a symbol for knowledge. Okay. Knowledge is hierarchical. It is pyramidical. What does that mean? Look, when we're dealing with anything in this universe, and that includes the spiritual universe, there is a hierarchy of importance when it comes to certain things. Okay, so certain things are more important than others. What does that mean? You got the top 20%, which are laws that are kind of like foundational for the entire topic. Okay, they're very, very important, and they make this thing work. Okay, then you got something below that, which are things like more specific laws, things that go more into detail. And then you got applications of that knowledge, and the rest is really unimportant details that you don't even have to know because you can look them up, or they're not important in order to get that thing to work. Okay, now what does that mean in regards to your question? Can you tell us some great book to start witchcraft? And what do you think about Carl Jung? Look, the right approach as a beginner to witchcraft, and take this and apply it to any other field that you want to understand. Try to find out the fundamental laws, the top 20% that make that whole thing work. That's how you should study a subject. Okay? When it comes to magic and witchcraft, those laws would be: matter is condensed energy, for instance. That is one of the laws. Matter is condensed energy. So when you're creating a spell, when you're doing witchcraft, you are taking energy and you're condensing it into the physical. And your mind is the conduit, or basically the connection between the world of mind and spirit and ideas and the physical manifestations that you want to create. Witchcraft is the transference of enough energy into the idea so that it can manifest and condense into the physical world. All right, that will be one law that is overarching, that applies to any magical system, doesn't it? It's one of the laws that makes magic work. Another one would be that, what would be another law, overarching law of witchcraft: as within, so without, as above, so below. Okay. Another one would be like attracts like. All right. So you have to match the frequency of what it is that you want to bring into reality through witchcraft, right? Now, when you start studying a new subject, you should scan the entirety of literature or teachings on that subject for those top 20%. All right, for those most important laws. Okay, because if you don't do that, and let's say start somewhere here, okay, somewhere down here, which would be a random grimoire, with some random demons in it, you're not going to be able to make that whole thing work for you. It's only going to be confusing because you don't have context. You will have content, but no context. Content without context is, in the best case, not applicable. In the worst case, it's destructive and, counterproductive. Okay. So it's extremely important that you understand the top first before you go into detail. All right. That's number one. So as a beginner, understand that you should read anything and study anything about this art with that framework in mind. Okay, what is kind of like the foundational thing that is getting that to work? Don't start memorizing hierarchies about spiritual hierarchies, this demon, that demon. The shit that most people do that don't get results with magic. They're all over the place, completely confused, and they don't understand the subject. You see, what does it mean if you understand a subject? Let's define understanding. What does it mean if you actually understand something? You have you have permeated the subject. Okay, you have permeated the subject, and you can find your own examples to explain that, and you're able to transfer it over into different situations. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, let's say I have understood a law. I have understood the concept of gravity. The concept of gravity is, well, it is the heavier object will attract. Actually, both objects attract each other, right? Two objects will always attract each other. But since one object is way heavier, it's going to attract the other one more. Okay? So the heavier object, Earth, your lighter object, you're attracting Earth too, but just not as much as Earth is attracting you. Okay? So boom, what's going to happen is you're going to be pulled towards the center of the Earth, and as you're moving there, there will be some resistance, which is called surface, and you will die. Okay, as you hit the surface. Okay. Now, having understood that concept, you will be able to avoid certain mistakes. Okay, you will not jump out of a window because you have a grasp on what that law does and how it's going to affect you in the future. Okay, you can also tell other people not to do that. You have understood the concept. Okay, if you have not understood the concept of something, you're not going to be able to apply it, and you're just going to regurgitate bullshit. It's like school. That's what they train you to do in school. You see, when you're in school, you're just sitting there. You get facts, you get data. Okay, you get a whole bunch of this bullshit here. Random data, and you get good grades if you're good at vomiting that shit out again. Okay, you take that in, and then you get good grades on a test if you just spill it out, like you vomit it out again. But that has nothing to do with understanding. How many of the things that you learned in school, the data and the facts, do you remember? What's a percentage? I'll bet it's not more than 10% of what you actually learned in school, all the facts, all the data, and all this bullshit. You don't remember, right? Why? Because it's just it's not true understanding. It's not true understanding. Here's how you truly understand a topic. You look for those overarching top 20%. What makes that whole thing possible? What makes it work? Okay, boom. Then you got the first layer. Then you step back again. Okay, you step back, and then you can go one level deeper. So in witchcraft, the top 20% would be the things that I mentioned and a couple more. Okay, not too many. You will find those laws for the most part in the Kabbalion. Okay, KYBA L-I-O-N, the Kabbalion, the seven Hermetic laws. Okay, the seven Hermetic laws. That's what all of witchcraft, all of existence actually is based upon. You need the seven Hermetic laws. Those are the top laws. And another thing is those things below the top of the pyramid cannot contradict the laws up here. It's something like the Constitution, okay? When it comes to the subject of law, you got the Constitution on top, okay? The Constitution has very few laws, very few, compared to other types of law, okay? Very few paragraphs, very few datums that cannot be broken, okay? So you go a level lower. Here you got something like business law, for instance, okay? Yeah, business law, no matter what you fucking do here, cannot contradict the top. It cannot contradict the Constitution. Nobody that builds a corporation can say, in my corporation, the Constitution of this country is no longer relevant, okay? I mean, you get the idea, right? The Constitution is senior to everything below it, all right? In the same way, nothing that you do in witchcraft could ever break one of those Hermetic laws, okay? So the way you permeate a subject such as witchcraft, and the way you get really good at this stuff, is you find the top, the seven Hermetic laws. You understand those seven Hermetic laws. You explain phenomena based on those Hermetic laws. That's the best way to do it. You explain different phenomena in witchcraft, different things that you might hear about in witchcraft. You explain those based on those Hermetic laws, okay? That means that you have understood those Hermetic laws. Then you can go a little bit deeper. Then you can go into different types of spirits, for instance, okay? Why are there different types of spirits? Well, if you understood those Hermetic laws, you will understand why there are different types of spirits. Why? Because there's one of the Hermetic laws is it's a polar universe. There's plus and minus. There's female, or there's feminine and masculine. There is, polarity. So why are there angels and why are there demons? Well, because it's a polar universe. There must be different poles, you see? You understand? And then you can go a little bit deeper, and then you can work with something like the Kabbalah, that is based on a dual universe. It has two sides. There's the tree of life, the tree of death, and then you can begin to permeate its secrets, and you will do that much easier and much better if you have the top, okay? And trust me, if you don't have those higher level understandings, and you start here, which is what most people do, okay? They get in contact with shitty marketing about one specific demon, I don't know, Belial, and their entire universe becomes about Belial. Belial is just one relatively irrelevant spirit that exists. In the context of all of spirituality, Belial is actually is nothing. Okay, same with all the others that you might have heard of. I know there's like, since a couple of years, all of these demons have become, more or less mainstream. Everybody has heard of Lucifer. Everybody's heard of Azazel. Everybody's heard of, man. These entities and their names and what they can do for you is really irrelevant. They're in a spiritual context, in a broader context. They're almost like completely unimportant. Okay, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work with them or something like that, but don't take that shit as serious as most people do, because it's really not. Okay. Plus, magic is the way of power. Never forget that. Okay. Just like one of my teachers taught me, I'm teaching you. Magic is the way of power. We're not mystics. We're also not religious people. We are magicians, okay? And as magicians, we follow the path of power. Witchcraft is a path of power. Witchcraft is the path that removes the distance between subject and object, between predator and prey, between what is and what could not be. And as such, we seek mastery. We don't put ourselves under any entity. Okay. Why is it potentially that the magician has the ability to call a spirit, a demon, an angel, a god, and have that demon do his bidding or her bidding? Why is that possible? Why is that possible? Or how is that possible? Well, what we have is potentially, as a magician, you're supposed to have that, is a superior understanding of the spiritual universe. The demon's not helping you because he likes you. The demon's helping you because he has to. You coerce the demon. You force it to do what it is that you want. Okay? And you coerce it and force it based on your superior understanding of the universe, of the spiritual universe. Okay? Why are we able to tame wild beasts and use their force to our advantage? Your puppy, once it's reached a certain size, even your Labrador, if it really wanted, could kill you. No problem. Okay? Look at those sharp ass teeth. Okay? A grown lab, the cutest little puppy they could think of. Okay? They love you to death, but if they wanted, they could kill you. No problem. Okay? You bleed out, that's it. Okay? But you the advantage that you have over that puppy is a certain level of reflection, certain level of intelligence, and other qualities, if that makes sense. Okay. So that dangerous creature, even a lion, even a tiger, even what's the most terrifying creature you can think of? Boom. That animal we can control and we can conquer. Why? Based on our intelligence, right? Based on our special knowledge in some way or another. So in a similar fashion, occult knowledge gives you the ability to tame a demon, you see. But for that, you need understanding like this that I just gave you. You can't just buy a grimoire, recite a spell, and then expect the demon to follow your command, okay? That does not happen. It's as within, so without, my friend. So you have to dominate, control, and understand the universe internally in order to control it externally. Another one of those datums, as within, so without. Okay. If you don't have the inner understanding, the internal control, internal power to coerce a demon, you can't do that externally either. Okay. So that's a long ass answer to a pretty short question. Okay, but let me give you that answer here, more concrete. Let's see. We got 3 books that I would recommend. Read The Kabbalion. Get that. The Hermetic Principles. Get the Bhagavad Gita. And get the Master Key System. Those 3. Okay. All right. So does that mean when you really change into the positive, can you manifest a better version of people in your life, or do they leave? Yeah, the people around you are a reflection of the frequency that you're on. So if you change your frequency, some people will leave, some others will come into your life. Yeah. Can you talk about the law of neutralization as mentioned in the Kabbalion and how it is applied? I didn't fully understand it. The law of neutralization. Well, there are many different applications of that law. I'm going to give you one. Okay, so you know that in physics, not just in physics, but everything is energy, right? And you also know that energy cannot be created. It can just be transformed into another form. Okay, so for whatever that you want, you got to give something. Okay, You cannot just take and not give in return. Otherwise, the law of neutralization will even it out, you see. That's why you can't steal from others and maintain that stuff, okay? If you take more than you give, you will suffer for it. It will be taken back, okay? It's like, let's say some people are rich when it comes to wealth, but they got that through shady means. It will be taken back in some way. They will lose their health or they will lose other things, all right? There is no other way but to, well, there's another way, but there's no sustainable way to exist in this universe except the one where you always respect the law of balance. Okay, when you give something, you will receive, and when you take something, you have to give. You understand? A lot of people worry about money. Well, have you worried about giving more to the world? And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about money does not even exist. Money is a symbol for value. It's a symbol for energy that you've exchanged with somebody else. How many people have you helped today? Well, if the answer is not at least 10 people today, you can't complain about not having money, because then you're useless to most people, right? What is your value to the world? And that will be reflected in some way or another monetarily, not just monetarily. Okay, I'm not that materialistic. That's not what I'm saying here. But do other people benefit from you being there? Okay, or are you narcissistic and are like, I don't need to be of value to the world. The world should be happy that I'm alive. That's not how the universe works. You will be compensated for what you give. What is the value that you create for the world? And by the way, that's also the only way to feel any level of satisfaction with your life. If you are of value to other people, self-esteem comes from that. Self-esteem means, where do you esteem yourself? Okay, and self-esteem can only happen in comparison to other people, and not in terms of am I better than that person, but more in terms of how high do I esteem my own value to my environment. That's it. Okay, so that would be one application of the law of neutralization. For whatever you take, there will be something compensated that you have to give. All right. So, yeah, that's an application of it. What does it mean if you have a constant pulling towards Lucifer? I don't know. It could mean any number of things. Hello from Kentucky. Any thoughts on how to gain greater amounts of energy with the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, and the middle pillar ritual? Those rituals are designed to increase your energy level. So just do the rituals, do them correctly. Do them correctly, and you will increase your energy. That's it. All right. Frank, how important would you say the relationship between magic and mental health is? um, what worries me now is why you're asking that question. A sane person, I don't know if a sane person would ask that question. So if you're not a sane individual, you shouldn't be on this live stream. All right. So, and if you are, I mean, the answer should be, isn't the answer obvious? Like, what connection does mental health have with using a butter knife at the breakfast table. Is there any connection and correlation between that, or should you be mentally sane in order to drive a car? Like, is there a connection, or what did you say? Is there a relationship between magic and mental health? Yeah, of course. Where can I read where human beings came from? Anthropology books. Isn't force and technique two different aspects of magic? Whatever. I can't watch that show. That made me want to cry. No way. My 600-pound life. No, that's not what I was referring to. That's what I was referring to. It was a guy from the UK, and he was heavy as fuck. I don't know. Don't know what his name was. Frank, that was a joke. I'm in a mischievous mood. Okay. No offense taken. I don't know what you're referring to. I already forgot. Do you agree with making a pact with the spirit for a goal you want to achieve if your senses are not developed enough to communicate and hear it? Depends on the spirit. Alex, what's up? Pillars of knowledge or your cornerstone. What are good examples of abundance, and what are the top ways to manifest it? Abundance means the lack of lack. Look, when you look at how nature operates, a vacuum will be filled up, always, right? A vacuum will be filled. So lack is an illusion. Lack requires a certain way of living, thinking, and feeling in order to keep it in place. All right, as harsh as that might sound. But because that's not the natural state. The natural state of the universe is complete abundance. There's more than enough for everybody. More than enough. It's almost infinite. So scarcity is a big lie that I don't know who taught it first, but it's a lie. It's not a real thing. Scarcity is a lie. The problem is that people don't understand the connection between energy and physical manifestations, you see? So what are good examples of abundance? I mean, there's only one definition for abundance. It's an overflow of whatever it is that you want, ideally of all good things. Look, what did I say earlier? There's a constant amount of energy in the universe. The amount of energy in the universe does not change, right? Physical matter is condensed energy. The way you condense energy is by focusing on it. Focusing on a goal, focusing on an object, focusing on a desire. You focus on that long enough, the universe has to bring it to you. But the problem is space is limited, energy is not. Okay? So if you bring something new into your life, you got to get rid of the old stuff. You understand? You got to create space for the new thing that you want to come into your life. So let's say you want to change your life, you want to live a better lifestyle. You want to you want to upgrade your life. Well, some things need to go, and usually that's going to be people, physical objects. Let's say you change your couch, the couch of your living room. Well, the old couch needs to go. Isn't that true? You see, so in order to bring new things into your life, you gotta make space for the old things. Does that make sense? So that's a tip that I would give you. Also, understand that for whatever you want, you got to give the equivalent in terms of energy. Okay? You want to be rich, you want to be a millionaire. What have you given to the world that is worth $1 million? If you haven't done that, it's impossible to get that million. You see? So the top way, or one of the top, there's only one way to manifest abundance. It's you have to give so that you can receive. All right. You have to give so that you can receive. That's it. What you want, you have to give. You know, don't buy into this. It's funny because right now I'm on Facebook, and the first ad that I see is "Secret Lives of the Super Rich." It's not a. It's a video that's been shown. It's not an ad. The go inside the what? Secret Lives of the Super Rich. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Well, whatever you want, you got to give for it. Okay. The pyramid analogy is amazing. It's not an analogy, my friend. It's the truth. That's actually how it works. Okay. Frank, can you tell me anything about the Emerald Tablet? Another one of those laws. It's actually a little bit lower on the pyramid compared to the Hermetic laws. Hey Frank, what's up, Marina? Question concerning visualization. Is it normal to have some days where you cannot visualize as clearly as other days with certain rituals? Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Christy Ann, are you willing to share your prediction for 2021 with this world in chaos? Well, look, yes, I have a couple of predictions. I'm not going to share them here, though. But what I can tell you is that your personal life is completely in your control. Don't buy into this panic. Don't buy into this all. Look, for some people, 2021 is going to be some of the best years, some of the best year they will ever have. Not, really the best year they will ever have. And for the majority of people, it's going to be a very bad year. And what's the difference between the ones that are going to enjoy this time and the ones that are not? It's how they choose to experience it. Your life is in your control potentially based on how you choose to resonate with the universe. Your emotions are a communication to the universe of what it is that you want. When you feel fear, when you feel panic, when you feel out of control, you're going to get more of that. When you feel abundance, when you feel happy, when you feel lucky, you're going to feel that. See, I got my tattoos, some of my tattoos lasered today because I want to remove them. And I was talking to the guy. We had a conversation about Corona and how it affected him, and he had to go back and all that stuff. And we got to talk about a lot of things, you see. And perspectives are always very different. Perspectives are always really, really different. 2021 for some people is going to be amazing, including for me. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to this year. And why? Because there's going to be so much opportunity. Think about it. Banks are swimming in money because they've been printing money like crazy. Have you heard of QE 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5, whatever the fuck they're going to do there? It's just printing of money, okay? How do banks make money? How do banks make money? Well, their business model is that they give out loans and receive interest, right? Now, how many people have gone bankrupt? How many people will go bankrupt? You see? So everybody has bad credit. If you have good credit and a little bit of liquidity, a little bit of savings, the banks will just beg you to take their money. And you know what you're going to do with that money? You're going to buy off all those distressed assets. You're going to get it. Look, in this year, between 2021 and 2023, 4, 5, you're going to be able to buy assets for pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. 100%. All of those fucking markets, the real estate market, all of that stuff is going to crash. By the way, there is no real estate market. There are only like sub markets. Okay, not even in the city. There's not even a city market of real estate. It's always about a neighborhood. Okay, so people talk about real estate markets. They don't exist. Okay, so you can make a killing if you're smart. You don't even need money for that. You just need contacts and you need a fucking plan. Contacts and a plan. Okay. Life is a little bit like war. It's a little bit like war. Okay. And war, strategy, and flexibility wins. You know what made Napoleon a great? I admire Napoleon. One of my favorite historical figures. I love him. And I evoke him and channel him quite often, actually, because he was so great at strategy. You know how Napoleon was able to beat much bigger armies? You know how he did that? Anybody? Napoleon was able to beat much bigger armies by, let's say, up until that point, war was basically just two big chunks of people, running towards each other and fucking trying to kill as many as they could, right? Well, Napoleon changed the structure of his armies. Okay, he created small units of, let's say, 25, 50, small groups. Okay, and they would act like a swarm of bees. Okay, so they would have one static group running towards them, and his army was organized like a swarm of bees. You see what I mean? So they would move in there, very flexible. They could react to a lot of stuff on the field, or the battlefield, that the big army could not. And that's how he would beat much bigger armies. Okay, and one of the biological laws, one of the laws of biology, is that survival of the fittest. But survival of the fittest does not mean strength, does not mean intelligence, does not mean any of those things. It means one thing and one thing only, which is the one that is more flexible or adaptable. Sorry, the one that is more adaptable is going to win. You see? So what you have to do is you got to be adaptable. You got to adapt your plan. You got to not be so fucking emotional. Your emotions are going to kill you in any stressful situation. Your emotions are not a good, like, everybody. Look, this is also, by the way, a sign of the decline of our culture. Okay, this is how you can tell that Western civilization is basically fucked. All right, why? Because everybody's starting to worship emotionality. Their emotions are so important, as well as childishness. Okay, infantilism is being like, it's like, it's trendy, that's cool. You're being taken serious, and you're even being like, what's the word? Celebrities are being made special because they have psychological issues, because they can't handle their emotions. They're more special. People like fucking Kanye West, who's a certified. He has a certified mental illness, but people look up to that person. Like, what the fuck is happening to this culture? Can somebody explain that to me? What's wrong with people? They worship insane individuals. Okay, it is almost like people carry their mental illness like a badge of honor. Yeah, I'm depressed. Yeah, I have this, I have that problem. Yeah, I take pills. Yeah, I'm on this medication, that medication. That's not cool. That is not cool. Okay, life is tough, life is harsh, and you're gonna have to deal with it in some way or another. Okay. So, emotionality, your emotions are not special. Everybody has emotions. Everybody. Even a dog has emotions. Okay. Fucking everything has emotions. Any Any animal has emotions. It doesn't take skill to be emotional about a situation. That's nothing to be proud of. But I feel like this about the situation. I feel like that. Who gives a shit? Doesn't change anything about the subject. Doesn't change anything about what's actually going on. You know what deserves admiration? It's intelligence and strategic thinking. That is what requires skill. That's what requires self-discipline. Okay, and that's what's going to win you the war. That is what we call adaptability, you know, and that's what's going to make you survive. All right. It's, look, that law, once again, is one of those here. It's not the one that is, it's not the strongest and intelligent and whatever that survives. It's not the most emotional one that survives. Definitely not. It's the most adaptable that survives. Right. The one that has the most the one with the most neuroses does not survive. You know, I tell you what the fucking problem is. If you have too many psychological issues, if you have neuroses, if you can't deal with your emotions, it's because you take yourself too serious. Okay? It's because you take your own mental processes too serious. It's something that will change based on a lot of things. So how can you take that so serious? How can you take your emotions so serious? They will change. Tomorrow they're going to be different. Your emotions have betrayed you more than any enemy ever could. And you still believe what your emotions tell you? They're going to tell you something on Monday and they're going to tell you the opposite on Tuesday, especially if you're a woman. Let's be honest. Especially if you're, it's way more, you have way more of those cycles than men. Okay? Men are more steady and more even. And once again, that's just a fact. You know, that's just a fact. It's not, there's nothing to it. It's just a fact. All right. So, what was the original question? Are you willing to share your predictions for 21? Well, my prediction is I wouldn't give a shit about the predictions because they're kind of like too broad. I mean, how are you going to handle yourself, your own life in 2021? That should be your own. That should be your main focus, and in that case, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Okay, through your emotions, through your focus. All right. Yes, I'm starting to understand what value is. I'm working on my mindset more to be a more positive force in people's lives, also more compassionate and less vain. Well, not vain, but narcissistic. Okay, good. A lot of gems here. Thank you, Frank. You're welcome. You have advice for tarot readers? I'm a beginning reader. I think I posted a video on that stuff. Type in Grail of the Serpent Tarot or something like that, or divination. You're gonna get some good insight on that. Right on, karmic wheel. So basically, that would make sense not eat meat because meat has frequency of death and sorrow. You will manifest that. Well, it depends on the meat. For the most part, the meat that you're gonna get is from it's not from free roaming cattle. It's going to be from cows that have been treated very, very poorly and fed very, very disgusting stuff their entire life. So you're going to eat that. Yeah. Life is war. I feel it a lot. Yes. Yep. He is messed up. I think you're referring to Kanye West. the guy that I was mentioning earlier. Okay, this is why I love Beyonce. She says quiet and minds her business and doesn't respond to the negativity. I feel like no one has privacy anymore or believe other people's business is their own. Okay. Perception of duality. Hey, Frank, what's up? Thank you again for the boot camp. Yeah, welcome. The bonuses are still coming. I guess it's technically not finished yet. Hello. What's up? Can predictions be like egregories? Like the more people believe in them, the more likely it is to happen? Absolutely. Yes, that's what is called predictive programming. You know why Hollywood is called Hollywood? Hollywood is a plant that the Druids would use to divine the future. Okay. What you just said has been figured out by the Dark Brotherhood, if you want to call it that, the Brothers of the Black Cloth for a long, long time, centuries, millennia. And that's what they've been using ever since, propaganda, predictive programming, which, when you look at Netflix is, in all of these shows, and a lot of those, they're showing you the future. Not in all of them, but in some of those shows, especially those that are. Have you watched Netflix recently? Watch any show or any movie that is about the future. It's always a dystopian, dark technocracy. Basically a what would you call that? An oppressive state. Where people are basically under the control of some oppressive government. Okay. And that's the vision of the future that is being propagated. That's what they're putting out more and more and more. It's called predictive programming. It's something that you let people entertain before you actually introduce it. Can predictions be like egregories? Like, okay, I answered that. Yes. Would you say that by performing psalm magic, the magician becomes submitted to Yahweh, or is it just another magical tool? Thanks. The belief of people in the power of those psalms gives them power. Okay. It's just like things like flipping somebody off. Okay. Flipping somebody off is, let's take away the context of people freaking out over that symbol for your entire life. Okay. You saw people, starting fights and then killing each other over the symbol for the longest time. Okay. Forever. All right. So it's a very charged gesture. That gesture itself will have energy behind it. You see what I mean? So similar to the psalm, just speaking the psalm will create a certain energetic effect all by itself. Have you ever channeled Napoleon? If so, what was his mindset in his fascination with Josephine? Yes, I have channeled him many times, but I have not asked him about stuff like that. That's none of my interests. Josephine, whatever. I believe that Napoleon's fascination was first and foremost with expanding his empire. Yes, a lot of them showed digitizing human consciousness controlled by big corporations. Yeah. Do we have any other questions? So on a scale of 1 to 10, in terms of content and value that you received here on this live stream, where would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? Did you feel like you got value out of it, or were your questions answered? Did you get a new perspective? Okay, 10. Secret Knowledge says 10. Wild Orchid says 10. Nicole says 10. Jordan says 10. Wasi says 10. Anthony says always 10. Denise says 10. Temple of Truth says 10. 10. 10. Okay. Thanks. Hey, Frank, when connecting with the spirit of a plant, what is the visualization? Doesn't matter. The visualization will come as you connect to the energy. 10, it really see where I've been going wrong. Okay, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. I guess I did my job then. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I do, what's the word? I am emotional. I am an emotional person, and deep down, of course, I feel. Sound like Darth Vader. What I'm saying is, I know I have a lot of people are afraid of me, which just, it's actually kind of good. But on the other hand, I'm really genuinely trying to help people, So I'm not here to put curses on people, even though some people seem to think that. It's like, oh, let's not say something. Let's not do this. If you're on this live stream and you have a question, ask it. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit harsh from time to time, but only with the people that intentionally fuck up, right? Let's be honest. I've cussed a couple of people out here really bad, but only those that try to fuck with me or try to start shit, right? So I'm really here. I'm genuinely here to help you. I want to give value. I want to help you guys. Okay. So if you have a question, ask it. As far as I can see, most people got something out of it, which makes me happy. But I'm sure I can give more if you have questions, You never know what's going to come out of it, you see. So ask a question. Be brave. I'm not going to eat you. You ever going to drop a hexing course? Well, here's the problem. I tried to, or I intended to do that, I think 2 years ago. I called it Psychic Seduction Course. And I put out like a promo series of videos, The second promo was about, I think, curses. I think I got to video 1 or 2. I don't remember. But I got emails from people that are like, man, I can't wait to use this to kill this and that and this. And I noticed it's just the wrong crowd that attracts, you see. So no, I'm not going to put a curse. I'm not going to put out a course on cursing people because it's going to attract the wrong crowd, you see. That's something I would teach one-on-one maybe, but not, only people that I really trust. But you can't put that out on the internet. There's so many freaks out there, so many crazy people. Sharon says 10. Okay. Any tips on how I can use magic to enhance my music ability? You can get in touch with a spirit that helps you with that, you have a great way of explaining things. Thank you. Can you use a voodoo doll for good intentions? Yes, you can heal. The voodoo doll is just basically a something that allows you to focus on the person. The power is not in the doll at all. It just allows your mind to focus on the individual. And you can hurt somebody, but you can also heal them through a doll. Do you have some experience with geomancy? What do you think about it? A little bit, yeah. A little bit, but it's not something that I specialize in or focus on. $10, okay. Oh, Somebody's creative. A Roman 10, an X. Okay. I feel like the more advanced I get and older I get, I'll be like Frank. I don't know if that's a compliment or just calling me old. Whatever. I'm not that old. 36. I actually look younger than I am. Depends on what I'm wearing though. I mean, I can dress in a way where I look my age or older. You know. Marina asks, how can we come in contact with you? I'm not, look, it depends on why you want to get in contact with me. If you want me to cast spells for you or do some magical work for you, I'm not going to do that unless it's maybe something business related and the amount of money involved is at least, ideally more than $1 million. Okay. At that point, you're going to be able to pay me a good commission. All right. It's just like you would pay a lawyer or pay an accountant. You pay me as somebody that gets you the deal or, something else. But I'm not going to cast a love spell for you. I'm not going to do this and that. I did that for a while, but it's annoying. It's not worth the hassle. Okay. Besides that, I also always think why all those people out there that cast love spells for money, like, how does that make sense? Like, let's assume, put yourself into those shoes. Let's say you're somebody who can actually cast spells that work. Money spells, all right? Money spells. You get paid a couple hundred to create a spell for somebody else where they make a couple thousand. How the fuck does that make sense? Wouldn't you spend your time casting spells for yourself and get yourself hundreds of thousands, millions? Doesn't that make more sense? All right. So, I mean, common sense, right? So the bottom line is, the short answer is, if you want something that is not work related, meaning a reading or something like that, because I stopped doing that too last year, you can contact me through Facebook or Instagram. Okay, just go on my channel. Under a lot of those videos, most of them, you will find my Instagram link and a link to my profile, or you just look me up on Facebook or the Grail of the Serpent page, and then you ask me. You send me a message, and we'll see what we can do. But experience has told me that when I get questions like that, how can I come in contact with you? It's usually, let me guess, you have a relationship that recently went bad, and now you want that guy back. Is that the case? Is that it? Well, then please don't contact me. Any differences in the different banishing rituals? Yeah, otherwise they weren't. You mean the result? Yeah, even the result of different banishing rituals is different. Remember what I was talking about in the on the boot camp? I was talking about different. The guy was asking about different pentagrams drawn in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagrams. And I explained that depending on where you start drawing the pentagram, you will banish different elements. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different banishing rituals, and for so many different purposes. So yes, they have different effects. Christy Ann Darbison says 10. Thank you. What was a 10? Nice. Okay, I notice a lot of great masters and wizards always had similar personalities to you. Really, how many of them do you know? Especially in movies. Really, especially always had similar personalities to you. Yeah, is that true? Okay. When I'm in observation mode, I don't have a lot of questions because I'm just observing, and it feels like I'm floating through space. Okay. Keep speaking your truth. Right on. Tips on using Kuchikiri as far as putting your sigil into someone's energy field. When you put your sigil into somebody's energy field, use their Zeal chakra. Okay. May the force be with you, brother. Thanks. Hi, man. When you cast a spell, does it long as you want to, or is it just like a door that opens for a while? I don't understand that question. The Wild Orchid says, wow. Okay. Broker. Yeah. No, I mean when I get more mature and have similar life experiences as you. 36 is still very young. Okay. I see. JS says 10, good refresher on the pyramid and an offering value to the world. I'll give this a solid 8. My question was either unintentionally or intentionally skipped over, but no worries. Thanks for the info. Still got something out of this, no doubt. Really? Did I skip your question? All right. Let's see. What did I say here? Well, yeah, cool. 8 is still pretty high. Thank you. That's okay. That's okay. Do we have more questions? Yes, watch Kill Bill 2. Pai Mai He was meaner, but he was a grandmaster martial artist, but taught Yuma what she needs to know in the end. It helped her survive and protect her from bigger enemies. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder where that comes from. I like people that are tough but fair. I like tough people. I don't like weak people. I don't like soft people, you know. Good night, guys. Good night, Christy. So I admire tough people, so I try to be tough too. But you know, I'm not just trying to be tough. Like I am actually tough. I'm probably one of the toughest people you know. You don't watch martial arts movies? No, I don't. I think they're corny, oftentimes. Because look, real fighting is very different from a movie. Trust me. Is there a spirit for animal training? There are a couple that help you with communication with animals. Yes. If you create a sigil to influence a person and feed it Reiki for hours, will the outcome come to us much faster versus 15 minutes a day? Yeah, of course. If you spread it out over days, it will take longer. Frank, what's the most difficult thing you've faced so far in your practice? Most difficult thing that I faced so far in my practice. What was the most difficult thing? What's the most difficult thing I shared? That's really hard to say. I don't know, man. I don't know. Many different experiences, but all of them are necessary. You know, when you have a hard day, you should be happy, or you should be celebrating, because it means that you're getting stronger somewhere or another. You know? It's good. Did the Roman emperors share any magical secrets with you? No. Is there a certain type of spirit that prefers to mess around with lights, electricity to communicate or draw attention? No, they all do. They all do, because they're electrical energy, you know? So they can all do that. But guys, my energy level is going down now, and it's, what time is it over here? It's 4:33, and I have I think in the last week I have slept overall on average like 3 hours a night. So I think this time I'll try to catch a little bit more sleep because you know, over time it starts fucking with you. What is your thoughts on mind or mentalism magic? Mind through magic. Mind is the medium through which you cast spells. Okay, that question that you're asking is basically, I mean, tells me that maybe you haven't understood how magic actually works. Magic has very little to do with the implement. So any type of magic is mental magic. Thank you for the live stream. You're welcome. Indonesian action movies are intense. I watched The Night Came for Us and I had to pause it because it was so violent. Wild Orchid. Okay, Frank, get a good night's sleep. Yeah, thank you. Wild Orchid, you should contact me. I don't know why, but there is something that needs to be communicated. I'll tell you what happened with the money subliminal. Okay, what was the most difficult part of magic for you to master? Not taking advantage of it. Good night, Frank. Take care. Thanks for your time with us. Yes, absolutely. Thanks. Not many people know that. That is why I put it up. Okay. Good night. Wild Orchid says, really? Yeah, really. I don't say things that I don't mean. Hit me up. We need to talk. That's for sure. You asked me to change my pic, and I did. You did? Wild Orchid. Yeah, those pictures here are always really small. Wild Orchid. What's that? The Wild Orchid one. Let me see who's on there. And how do I do that? How do you contact me? Well, hit me up on Facebook. The Wild Orchid. Was an I before. The Wild Orchid on Wild Orchid. The Wild Orchid one. No, give me your number. I will not give you my number. Get out of here. Kidding me? Give me your number. Like how I don't know why people have a problem finding me on Facebook. Just text me on Facebook. God damn it. Channel. Good night. Awesome video. Thanks. I meant to say many people didn't know magic is all mine. Sorry, I didn't type it up right. Yeah. Okay, Marina says no guy spells. I just wanted to know if you teach or have a program because I'm new here. I see. Okay. Yeah, I have a bunch of programs. Find me on Facebook. It's Frank White, or type in Aurelia Sopex or something like that. Or find the Grail of the Serpent page and text, send a message to that page. And yeah, then I'm going to send you a list of all the programs that I have. You could also go to grailoftheserpent.com, of course. You'll find all of that, all of the programs there too. And but you must be a subscriber on my channel, right? You must be a subscriber on my channel if you saw this live. Well, anyways, okay. Getting tired now. Good night, sweetheart. Oh, she sent me a rose. That's so cute. Thank you. The Wild Orchid sent me a rose. Ooh. I wonder if there's a panties emoji. Are there panties that can be sent? Send me your panty. Send me your panties. That's much better. Or your bras or something like that. I wish you good night. Panty emoji. Um, prime. All right. I'm just fucking with you. Okay. Good night. Be well. Bye bye.